Hello, my name is Rhonda Jones. I am the MESSA Health Promotion Consultant. Thank you for joining me in the third self-care series of the summer. This is the last one too. We're talking about getting a good night's sleep. Now tell me, how many of you have been sleeping well during this pandemic? Are you still getting good sleep? Okay. Well, I know for me and a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends, the report is that they're not sleeping well. They're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, perhaps not getting to bed until midnight, 1 o'clock. During the day, groggy and tired. So I thought it was very important that we share some information about how to get a good night's sleep. Um, and also, as a part of our theme, mindfulness, movement, nutrition, when we are talking about movement, we're not only talking about activity and exercise and weightlifting and jogging. And you remember the term I threw out the first session, NEAT, N-E-A-T, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We're not just talking about that when we talk about movement. We're also talking about an absence of movement, meaning sleep and rest. Sleep and rest are just as important as exercise and nutrition when we're talking about optimal well-being, wellness. There's a term out called being your best self. And even when we're talking about self-care, sleep is just as important as exercise and nutrition. So we thought it best to give some information about sleep today. And you guys, don't you love this graphic? We have some top-notch professionals in our communications department, really creative. Listen, 60% of Americans, and this is adults, report poor sleep quality. Okay, I just wanted to throw a statistic out. Now, mind you, this statistic was pre-pandemic. So I'm sure at this point, if we were to send out a survey and survey people just in Michigan, not even a national survey, I'm sure this number would probably be about 98%. I'm gonna just take a roll at it and say 98%. Because one of the things about stress and when you're in a situation where things are unpredictable, sleep is always affected. Now, I put a lot of information in these PowerPoints, and they'll be available for you when we email the recording. Also, just in case, last week our audio went bad, so just in case the audio goes out, you'll have this information here in front of you. Now, why is sleep so important? And there's a generation, and I don't like to profile any generation, but I know some younger people that feel like just pushing the gas pedal forward and just go is the way to live life. Go after your goals, never stop, don't rest, just work. And it sounds good, but sleep is so important to contribute to what we do during the day. And that's why I titled this Move Well, Sleep Well. In order to have a successful day, you have to have a successful night. Now, some of the things that happen during sleep, this is new research and some older research that still holds true. And this is very relevant to things like Alzheimer's and dementia and other chronic health conditions. We know that when you fall asleep, if you had a test called the EEG, it would show your brain waves would start to decrease. And what we used to think, what experts used to think is at night when you sleep, your brain is not active anymore, it's not working. Well, with more emerging research, we now know that actually your brain is even more active. You have cells called glial cells, G-L-I-A-L, that start to work at night when you are sleeping or whenever you're sleeping, if you're sleeping through the day. And what they do is they clean up, and I'll call it the trash in your brain. Free radicals, I'll call trash. Free radicals are the product of cellular metabolism. When your cells are working and they're exchanging different chemicals in and out, they produce a waste or garbage. And what happens when you sleep is there are these glial cells go through your brain and they clean out those free radicals. The longer you sleep and the better the quality of sleep, the better these free radicals are cleaned. These glial cells are able to work better. So it contributes to your longevity and the health of your brain when you are able to get a good quality and quantity of sleep. Also, growth hormone. Growth hormone is a hormone when I talk about uh, bodybuilding and exercising. Growth hormone is the hormone that starts to decline as we get more chronologically superior. What most experts say is it starts to decline even at age 25. Our body starts producing less growth hormone as well as other hormones. And growth hormone is known as the anti-aging hormone. And what it does is it modulates your body's ability to heal, tissue regeneration, how your liver is cleansed, and even healing of injuries that were purposeful and injuries that were intentional. And intentional injuries are things like post-workout muscle pain or post-workout muscle soreness. Those are injuries that were intentional. Well, when you sleep, growth hormone is the hormone that is released that helps regenerate those cells and build muscle. It helps your body use fat stores. It also helps to normalize your metabolism and your blood sugar. So you can see why sleep is so important for your health. Symptoms of inadequate sleep. If you didn't already know, or perhaps you have a colleague when you're at work that is drowsy, you're feeling fatigued, decreased concentration, when you can't focus on a book or focus in a meeting, impaired memory and brain fog. And of course, these can be symptoms of other things going on in your body, but I just wanted to make sure you knew a lot of these things can come from not getting adequate sleep. Mood changes, things like depression, anxiety can come from inadequate sleep, muscle tension, cold hands, cold feet. A lot of people don't realize that when you don't get adequate sleep, your body can have trouble modulating your body temperature and you suffer from feeling cold all the time. Yeah, that could be just a lack of sleep, not getting deep quality sleep. Other things that I didn't mention here, inadequate sleep can depress your immune system. We're hearing a lot about the immune system right now during this pandemic and COVID-19. When you don't get adequate sleep, you put your immune system at risk. It's compromised. Depression and anxiety. Again, we're hearing a lot about that during COVID-19. We attribute it to the physical distancing. We attribute it to a lot of things that are going on in society. Well, sleep can contribute to that. So sleep is very important to help manage your mental health as well as your physical health. Now, real quick, just some basics on sleep. I know some people like to know the science behind things and different things you may have read, just so you can understand sleep and why experts tell us we need 8 hours of sleep. You'll hear that out there. And really, always customize things. Always go based on how you feel and your health, what you're predisposed to, your risk factors, or if you're managing a chronic health condition, or even if you have an active lifestyle, you're an athlete or you exercise, you may need more sleep, okay? So what happens when you go to sleep? You go through phases. There's 5 phases of sleep based on research right now, okay? So the transition state, that's when you are going between being conscious and unconscious. Oftentimes I'm there laying in the bed, or maybe I'll take a nap. I'll just stay right in phase 1 or 2. You know, you're asleep, but you're awake. You know what's going on, but your body can't move. You're drifting in and out. That's phase 1, okay? Phase 2 through 5 are the most important phases. And actually, that 5th phase, the rapid eye movement, is the most important phase, okay? You need to spend at least, they say 50%, close to 50% of your time in the REM stages of sleep, okay? That's where infants are, okay? Most adults are only there 20% of the time, okay? So what happens is you go through these 5 stages of sleep at least 3 to 5 times a night. That's where we come up with 8 to 9 hours of sleep, okay? In order to get quality sleep, you need to go through the full cycle, okay? In order to get to REM, you have to start at 1 through 4. You can't just skip right to REM, to rapid eye movement, okay? And as you see, as we start getting chronologically advanced, we get less rapid eye movement sleep. That's that deep sleep where the healing takes place, where the regeneration takes place. That's where the growth hormone is released. That's where your cells are regenerated. That's where your brain, the garbage is cleaned up in your brain, and you wake up with new neurons every morning. That's why sleep is so important. Now, some things that may be stopping you from sleeping, okay? I call them sleep disruptors. And of course, like we said, this pandemic, worrying can stop you from sleeping. These are my top 4. Sleep apnea, okay? This is a condition where your breathing stops during your sleep, okay? You basically stop breathing. There's no oxygen going to your brain. What your brain does, because your body is made just in such a wonderful way, your brain can tell your oxygen saturation is low, and what it does is it wakes you up, okay? So a lot of people have sleep apnea and they don't realize they have it, okay? They just know they're waking up all of a sudden at night, okay? And they're tired during the day. They're fatigued. They don't feel like working out. They're having cravings during the day. They're craving sugar and salt during the day. They're grumpy, impatient, and irritable, but they haven't connected it to the issue with sleep, okay, and sleep apnea, okay? So that's something you should talk to your doctor about. And actually, if you have been, if you went to your healthcare provider about your inability to sleep, I'm hoping the first thing they've done is assess you for sleep apnea and perhaps just recommended some type of sleep study. Now, what some of the things I'm going to talk about are things that you can do, and I'll encourage you to do it before you go the pharmaceutical route, before you jump to some type of over-the-counter or even asking your doctor to prescribe some things. Let's talk about first some things you can do and make sure it is something that is a medical issue. So sleep apnea is one thing. Stress, emotional stress can keep you. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Wave your hand if you can hear me, Sheila. Okay, good. I just got a signal up that said that I'm muted. I didn't know if I was muted or not. So stress, emotional stress in the form of anxiety, worry, resentment, frustration, just worrying about things every day, what's going on in this pandemic can put you in stress and cause sleep issues, okay? If you've been in any of my stress sessions, we know that just thinking negative thoughts, when you are worried, emotionally stressed, when you are holding resentment, unforgiveness, what your body does is it releases cortisol. Cortisol contradicts melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that's released by your pineal gland in your brain that helps you fall asleep. You've heard of melatonin. Some of you may be on melatonin or have went to the health food store to get melatonin to help you sleep. Well, your body makes melatonin. But when you are under stress, when you are worried, when you are having anxious thoughts or depressed thoughts, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol blocks the receptors where melatonin would go. So you can't fall asleep because your cortisol is high, because your thoughts are stressful. So stress is a cause of sleep disruption. Cell phones, I hate to tell everybody this, but cell phones are directly related to sleep issues, especially falling asleep. And then you probably heard this before, and I have nothing against cell phones. I use them. I'm not only cell phones, I use every device out there. Like I said, when we began this session, we are the Jetsons now. So we are on devices all the time. And we have to do them. Our society now, they support how our society functions. So I'm not sure how we will get away from them. But I do need you to know that the vibrations or the microwave, the radiation that comes from the phone can affect how your pineal gland, that gland in your brain, releases melatonin. So it can disrupt your own body's release of melatonin, okay? Especially when you hold it against your face or against your head often. You know, I've seen pictures of people laying in bed with their phone next to their ear listening to music, or they're tired of holding the phone, so they'll just put it on their head. Even adolescents or young kids, when they're talking to their friends, they'll just lay the phone on their head. Well, I'm letting you know this, that can be dangerous to your health, and it affects how your body releases hormones, okay, which can affect your sleep. And we know sleep or lack of sleep contributes to so many other health problems. And just as even in addition to that, screen addiction. Okay, we're not only using cell phones all the time. Many of us, adults, adolescents, children, we are, and I shouldn't have put addiction, maybe dependent, screen dependent, because we have to use them now throughout the day to communicate and do our work. But we also use them for social interaction. We use them for entertainment. We use them even for relaxation and stress management. We are very much dependent on these devices, but we need to know the disadvantages of using them. And I'm saying this to encourage you to take breaks from your devices, take breaks from social media, or use some other means to get entertainment or do those things other than work. And you know, I have to use the Surface Pro to work. I have to use a cell phone to talk on the phone, but after work, to listen to music, you know, I might go back to an old-fashioned cassette player or 8-track or even a record player to listen to music, because as far as my well-being goes and my health and my ability to sleep, it's healthier to do it that way. And I'm saying, I want you to consider this. If you are having serious issues sleeping, I want you to become self-aware and start thinking about things like, am I using my devices more than usual during this pandemic? Am I on social media for a long time? You know, a lot of our phones have functions where they'll tell us how long we've been using them. Maybe you should start monitoring yourself, or before you ask the doctor for a sleep aid, perhaps start putting yourself on a device break. I just want you to think about some things before you go to the extreme with it, the pharmaceutical route, or become frustrated, or end up in a situation where your health is irreversible. Now, this one is ETOH, alcohol. Now, don't get mad at me. I'm not saying don't drink. I know what this pandemic has done to a lot of us, and I know the shelves at the wine store are empty lately. And it's not because the trucking companies are delayed. It's because people are enjoying their wine during the pandemic. Now I'm a health professional. I'm gonna tell you, I have nothing against wine. Actually, I could pull up some studies and some research that says there are some types of wine that can contribute to your health when done in moderation. The issue becomes when we exceed moderation to excess. That's when alcohol becomes a danger, okay? Especially red wine. It can be healthy, certain types of red wine. It's when we go above and beyond what we need that it becomes a danger. Now, this is the thing as it relates to sleep. We think alcohol relaxes us and helps us to sleep deeper, and actually it's not. You're not getting into REM sleep when you are, what's a good word? If you are heavily sedated by wine, can I say that? You're actually not getting the sleep you think you are. You're not getting into that REM sleep. So I'm just saying this to say, I want you to be more self-aware. You create your checklist and you start being more mindful about what you're doing. And perhaps if you know you're doing 2 or 3 glasses too much, and somebody says you're irritable through the day, or you are falling asleep in meetings, or you feel like you can't get your workout in because you're tired, pull back on the alcohol and see if you start sleeping better. Caffeine. Caffeine, of course, we take that to wake us up, right? I drink caffeine in the morning. Now let me do a disclaimer. I also can pull up some research on the benefits of the coffee bean. So I have nothing against caffeine from coffee beans. Natural caffeine, natural coffee beans are actually an antioxidant and good for the liver. But it's when we drink too much, it's an issue. Also, it can be an issue if you're not sleeping, okay? So if you're not sleeping, before you go to a Walgreens or wherever you go and try to find a sleep aid, I want you to look at how much coffee you're drinking. Number one, are you exceeding a cup of coffee? And number two, are you drinking coffee past noon? Okay. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock and you're drinking coffee at 5 o'clock, that may be your issue. Okay. So I want you to just be aware that caffeine is a stimulant, and it can keep you awake. And actually it's used for performance. Athletes use it to enhance their athletic performance and endurance. So there's caffeine in coffee, there's caffeine in green tea, okay? Caffeine in black tea. So yes, there's caffeine in chocolate. So if you are having trouble sleeping, I want you to see if there is a chocolate wrapper next to your bed. Perhaps it's the chocolate that we need to implicate and not go get a sleep aid. Just trying to be funny for you guys. But no, I want you to know that energy supplements, vitamins. A lot of us take multivitamins, or perhaps we take B vitamins. I know my doctor prescribes, he's an integrative medicine doctor as well as an MD, and he encourages patients to take vitamins, especially B vitamins, when they're stressed, because it helps keep the nervous system healthy. But know that B vitamins energize you. They can have a stimulant effect and keep you awake. So if you're taking your multivitamin at the end of the day and it has B vitamins in it, or you're taking something that has B vitamins in it, it can keep you awake, okay? So you want to do those kind of things at the early part of the day, okay? Also, a lot of people wake up in the middle of the night, and I find this a lot with women, and I find this a lot in women that are chronologically superior, perhaps in that menopausal phase, that their blood sugar, because of the hormone disruption and imbalance, that affects your blood sugar. You know, insulin is a hormone. Once one hormone starts going array, the other hormones do as well. So what happens sometimes is your blood sugar will drop at night. And again, just like with the oxygen level, when your brain knows your blood sugar is low, it'll wake you up all of a sudden. You won't know why. You might even think it's a dream, and you might wake up sweaty, and you might wake up anxious. Oftentimes that's because your blood sugar dropped low, okay? And your body is putting you in a survival mode actually because it wants you to survive. And what it does, when you're in survival mode, your body moves sugar out of the cells into your bloodstream to help you. So let's talk about some things we could do to help you fall asleep if you're not falling asleep. Have I convinced you that you need to sleep well? I don't know if I did that well enough. You know what? Good people that get good sleep tend to eat fewer calories. So if you are getting a quality night's sleep, duration and quality, you tend to eat fewer calories during the day. When you don't sleep well, it automatically causes your body to release hormones. It puts you in survival mode, basically, and it makes you hungry, okay? So it's hard to control your behavior. And you're not only more hungry, but you crave sugar and salt when you don't sleep good. So you see how that fits into exercise and eating right, how important sleep is. Sleep can contribute to concentration, your ability to be productive on the job. If you are exercising and you have hashtag goals. Let's say you have goals to lift a certain amount of weight, or you want to run a marathon. Getting a good night's sleep contributes to your athletic performance, okay? So we need to really consider how important sleep is. So sleep strategies, exercising regularly. Yes, getting exercise in. What exercise does, now this is the thing, your body is created to move. You have extremities, you have upper body, lower body. When your body doesn't move, you don't get good sleep. Okay, it doesn't go into that sleep phase as well. When you exercise, especially first thing in the morning, the earlier part of the day, you'll find that you fall asleep quicker and you stay asleep longer. And that's any type of exercise. That can be walking, that could be yoga, that can be strength training, and really strength training for sure. And I know that because at the beginning of this pandemic, I kind of fell off the wagon with my routine of lifting weights, and that combined with stress, I wasn't sleeping well. Well, I've gotten back into training, and I'm finding that as soon as I hit the bed, I am out cold. I sleep, and I sleep deep. I'm telling you, it's so great. I can win a sleep contest right now. And I wake up and I feel refreshed and I feel better. So in order to have a good day, you have to have a good night. I can't stress that enough. And this is the thing. These are the free side tips with this exercise. When you do it outside, say for instance, your exercise mode of choice is walking, do it when the sun is shining. Get some sunshine, because this is key. When you are exposed to the sunlight, our bodies are connected to the solar system, okay? That's how our circadian rhythms stay flowing the right way. You've heard of circadian rhythms. Google that on your free time, CIRCADIAN. That's your sleep-wake cycle, okay? Well, you're connected to the sun. When the sun is up, your body releases serotonin. You've heard of serotonin? That is the neurotransmitter that helps you feel happy. It helps you enjoy life. When your serotonin is low, people tend to be depressed and feel sad. They go see their doctor. Their doctor might prescribe a selective serotonin inhibitor. And what that does, it prevents your body from absorbing it, so there's more available, okay? Serotonin helps you feel happy. Well, the sun causes your body to release your own serotonin. You got that? Isn't that key? I'm saving you a copay. So your body releases it, and what happens at night when the sun goes down, when everything is the way it should be, your body releases melatonin, okay? So serotonin and melatonin, they are contrary to each other. When one is up, the other is down, okay? So when you get sunlight during the day, as the sun goes down, melatonin is released. Now, if anybody is thinking right now, you're thinking about the light in your room, and I hope you are. That's why it's so important to have a dark room when you sleep, okay? That's why it's so hard for shift workers to get good sleep, trying to sleep during the day, because your body is connected to the sun. So it's important when you do go to sleep that you're doing it in a dark room. That'll help enhance the depth of your sleep. That'll help you get into that REM, because light disrupts melatonin. Okay? Do I have some light bulbs going on? Okay. Also, while I'm on this bedroom thing, your body sleeps better in a cool room. You know why? No, we're not bears. We don't need to be in caves, or maybe we are. But this is the thing. When the room is cool, not only does that pineal gland release it from the light, but the coolness causes that gland to release melatonin. So it's important for you to sleep in a dark, cool room, okay, to optimize melatonin release. Now listen to me. Before you go get melatonin, I know your friend or colleague told you, get some melatonin. You can get it at the health food store. I want you to make sure you're in a cool, dark room first. Don't go get that melatonin yet, because this is what happens. Melatonin is a hormone, and you can get it from a health food store, but once you start taking it, your body will no longer release its own melatonin. Your brain will be like, oh, she has enough. So what your brain will do is pull back on its own natural release of melatonin. We don't want to do that. While our hormones are working, we want them to work. Let's optimize it. While we have hormones, let's use them, okay? Because first thing I learned in nursing school, my first semester, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That was the side note from my nursing professor. Anything you don't use in your body, your brain will shut it down. So we want to optimize our own melatonin release before we go get something at a health food store or get it from our doctor, okay? So exercise regularly. You got to get tired so you feel sleepy. You got to use this body. You have to move it. Get out and get some sunshine. Not only are you helping to sync yourself with the proper circadian rhythm, but you're also getting adequate vitamin D, which can also contribute to good sleep. Most of us here in Michigan have insufficient amounts of vitamin D. That's something I want you to talk to your doctor about when you go to your physical. This is a free tip. Just because it's a pandemic, it doesn't mean you don't need to get your health screenings, okay? I want you to make your appointment for your physical. Make your appointment for your health screening. Those are very important. Even now, we have to maintain good health, okay? Here's another tip. Maintain consistent sleep-wake cycles, okay? That means get up at the same time every day, go to bed at night the same time. So on Saturday, on the weekend when I'm not working, I still try to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and my body is so regulated, and yours too, that you automatically get up. Now, this is the thing for me that's a treat. I go ahead and get up even if I'm tired, because I know a Saturday afternoon nap is a treat, okay? Especially in a dark room with a fan blowing, even with air conditioning on. That is like ice cream to me. I love Saturday afternoon naps, but it's very important for you to train your body to get up at the same time and try to go to bed at the same time, okay? Now here, this one might be a new one for you. Consider unplugging the Wi-Fi in your house. And again, we're going back to those that radiation that's coming from your Wi-Fi and coming from your devices. I know it's invisible and you don't see it, but it's affecting our health more than we realize. And you know, I'm sure it wouldn't be profitable for Apple to release any studies or AT&T to release any studies on what those waves or that radiation is doing to our health. But just know people have been studying it, and experts, there's many experts that are telling us that it's affecting our health, it's affecting how our brain functions, it's affecting our mood and how we are able to modulate negative and positive moods. So a suggestion, and my professor mentor mentioned this at the last conference, just unplugging it at night. So especially now, if you're really having a rough time sleeping, you should really consider this and see if it works. Unplug it a couple nights this week and see what happens with your sleep. You're not missing it at night anyway. Now, if you're the type that is waking up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock, you went to bed at 9 o'clock, you're waking up at 2, it could be your blood sugar, especially if you are having hormonal issues, if you are under stress. This is a new one for you. If you are worrying and you are anxious, that's stress. When you're under stress, that's hormonal problems. Cortisol is a hormone, okay? So when your hormones, cortisol is high, that causes imbalances in all the other hormones. So guys, you have hormone problems too. We all have hormonal issues right now. If you're waking up and it's disrupting your sleep, consider taking a protein snack at night before you go to bed, okay? What we know, protein can help balance your blood sugar, okay? And help balance you through the night. Definitely talk to your doctor about that if that's going on. Warm baths at night. That's mom's recommendation. Aunt Mary's remedy is a warm bath. That's a nursing remedy. When I was in the hospital, we would give patients warm bed baths in the evening to help them fall asleep, rub their back. It helps. It actually physical touch is known to lower your stress. It's comforting, it's relaxing, it can lower your cortisol. Now, Epsom salt. Anybody in there that's an athlete or you played sports in school, or your kids, you know that Epsom salt is an athletic trainer's #1 remedy for muscle soreness. Well, basically that's magnesium salt. And what that does, magnesium is known to relax our body, okay? Now this is a fact. most adults are low in magnesium, stored magnesium in our body. And usually it is because of our diets, what we're not getting in our diet, the vitamin and minerals. And you examine yourself. You think about what you're eating and all the vitamins and minerals that you might be lacking. Also, even if you're eating perfect, our soil is depleted, okay? So that makes it hard for us to get all the minerals and vitamins we should from food. Well, Epsom salt baths can help restore magnesium, and magnesium helps us to relax, okay? And you can get that at any store, any pharmacy store. And I like to put a little lavender oil. For those of you that are familiar with aromatherapy, certain scents, certain oils can help relax you. And lavender is known to lower cortisol levels. The scent helps you to relax. Anytime you are dealing with the five senses, so touch, smell, taste, and hearing, you're doing things to either elevate your cortisol and stimulate you, or lower your cortisol and relax you and help you go to sleep. Progressive muscle relaxation. It is a form of mindfulness where you are focusing your attention on a specific muscle, and you are contracting that muscle and relaxing it. And you do that with every muscle in your body until you fall asleep. It helps you relax. It helps you become more aware of your body in space. I'll call it kinesthetically aware, okay? It helps you to learn how to relax tense muscles. Sometimes we have muscles that are tense. We're walking around tense in our shoulders, tense in our lower back, and we don't recognize it. Progressive muscle relaxation helps you to recognize a muscle is tense and helps you to intentionally relax it. Again, that lowers your cortisol. Again, that helps you to fall asleep. And again, anytime you're addressing the senses, the sense of hearing with music, relaxing music, that can help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep. White noise. Has anybody ever used white noise to help you sleep? We mentioned aromatherapy. I listed a couple of scents and things that are helpful or known. I took an aromatherapy course. There is a lot of complementary alternative therapies that the medical model of medicine is embracing to help people to gain wellness and good health. Magnesium glycinate, definitely check with your healthcare provider. Magnesium, again, is known to help us relax. Glycinate is a form of magnesium that doesn't affect the digestive system. You know, a lot of people give their children milk of magnesium, which is magnesium, a form of magnesium, but we don't want that type to help us sleep, because we know what milk of magnesia does, and we don't want that. Always consult your physician with anything you do that you are consuming something, because often if you're on medication, certain substances can block absorption of medication and vice versa. And if I didn't mention it already, medications can keep you from sleeping. If you're on a new medication, talk to your doctor about the side effects. Oftentimes medications have caffeine in them, or perhaps they have some type of stimulant in them that can keep you awake. That includes decongestants. If we're going into flu season, there are a lot of decongestants out there that are stimulants, and they can keep you awake. If you're not sleeping, talk to your doctor about that. Sleep is so important for your health. We know that sleep or lack of sleep can contribute to poor glucose tolerance, which can lead to diabetes. It can contribute to systemic inflammation, which can cause asthma. It can contribute to high blood pressure. Sleep is so important. So if you are exercising, if you are eating healthy, if you are managing a chronic condition and you're on medication and you're not sleeping, you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. Sleep is very important to that. Now I'm gonna check the chat room. Are there any questions for me? It's in the chat room. You know, it's easier for me to see the chat room when I have this, when I'm not sharing. Yes, Epsom salt baths. Any questions? How long before bed should you limit exercise? If it's now yoga, some types of yoga are relaxing and they help you sleep. You can do. I've done some yoga stretching right before bed, and it helps me go to sleep. Customize it. I usually, if I am working out vigorously, like a high intensity type of exercise or strength training, high intensity, I need to be done working out at least by 6:30. I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock. Now that's me, okay? I get wired though. I can feel the difference when I work out at night. It's harder for me to fall asleep. It's harder for me to get past that first phase. It seems like I stay in that first phase a long time where I'm awake and sleep at the same time, but I can't move my body. I can just see monsters coming into the room, you know, that phase. So I definitely do better when I work out first thing in the morning. I get into sleep much quicker. Getting up in the morning, the struggle with getting up in the morning is usually, and I'm using my own experience, you have to experiment with this. When I feel real groggy in the morning, it's because either I didn't get to bed on time, I stayed up on social media, or I was on the phone talking to somebody, Netflix had my attention, something happened, and I didn't get to bed on time perhaps, or I worked out late at night in my sleep, I didn't get good deep sleep, I'll wake up groggy, okay? So I would recommend seeing if you can get to bed earlier, trying all those other strategies. Do it every day. Be consistent about your bedtime and your wake time, okay? Talk to your doctor about the magnesium, especially if you're in that phase of life where your hormones are an enemy to you or trying to make life hard on you. You got to tame those hormones, okay? You tell them who's in charge, right? But yeah, I would try a couple of strategies. The strategies, this is the thing, you guys. I see so many people run to the store and get melatonin or go to the doctor and get on a medication, and they're sleeping at night with their iPad. And they have, you know what I'm saying? They're exercising, they're drinking, they got a cup of coffee next to the bed, next to the lamp, or a Coke. And they're wondering why they can't get to sleep and they're popping melatonin, okay? I want you to try all this other stuff first before you go to some type of something like melatonin or pharmaceutical. You know, Mountain Dew has caffeine. Oftentimes sugar is a stimulant, okay? That can wire you at night and keep you awake, okay? So it's a self-study type of situation. You have to study yourself and see what things are working for you and what things don't. I would start with elimination. Eliminate the devices. Eliminate the TV. I had to put my Rottweiler out the bedroom. His breathing all night was driving me crazy. And he hates it. Since I've been home, he's on my heels. He won't leave my side, and it's difficult, and he's breathing loud all the time. So I still let my husband stay in there, but he's next if it gets rough. And I'm just playing. But get your room right. Get the temperature in the room right. If you need a fan, get a fan. Make sure it's dark. Okay, start getting up in the morning and moving. Okay, getting lots of sunlight. Get out and get some sunlight at night. Usually when your health is not good, your sleep is not good, and vice versa. Okay, when we're struggling with our health, we struggle with our sleep. Oftentimes, and when we lose a little weight, we sleep better, because as you gain weight, you right near your chest or your esophagus, it starts to collapse and make sleeping. That's when the snoring starts. And when you're snoring, we know that oxygen is being obstructed. And when you're not getting adequate oxygen, you're not sleeping well. I wanted you guys to see, I just brought up our website. I have scheduled our Worksite Wellness Conference for this year. For those of you that don't know, as the MESSA Health Promotion Consultant, my team and we do a conference every year, and we invite school employees to come join us for free and spend the day with us. We bring in nationally known wellness experts. We talk about how to start your worksite wellness program. If you have one going, we help you motivate you and inspire you to do more. It's an opportunity to network with other school employees who are doing the same thing. Well, we're doing it this year, but we're doing it virtually. We're doing it October 9th. So save the date. Registration is at our website, www.mesa.org. Okay, go out there and check us out, and just check out our website in general. If you need some information, we're building it up and we're adding information all the time to help you with your personal wellness journey, as well as those things you want to do to help your colleagues and help your workplace. But as far as our virtual conference, we have Dr. Raquel Garzon is coming. She's going to share some information about mindset. My good friend, Dr. Brian Seward, is coming. He is well known nationally and globally for wellness, and he's also a professor. He's coming to talk about sleep. He's going to take what I just told you to another level. And we have a local favorite, Kristen Johnson, is coming. So we have mindfulness, we have movement, and we have nutrition. So come join us. Also, this is the place to go to get, if you want to check out some recordings we've done in the past. We've shared some great information. We've brought some great speakers here with us to talk about mindfulness, to talk about meditation, and just how to be your best self. Any questions for me? Was this helpful information? Did you guys enjoy this? Did anybody fall asleep on me? That's not just fun. It was so good you fell asleep during the whole thing. Great, great, great. Thank you for coming. Stay in touch with me. I'll be coming out with more Zoom sessions as the year progresses. I appreciate your support. You can always reach me at healthy@mesa.org or just rjones@mesa.org. Shoot me a note. Tell me something good that's going on in your life. Thanks so much.